twice. To have the government interfere with the communications between a therapist and a patient. People have problems of any kind, right? Depression, or they're worried about money, or they're worried about their family, or maybe they're worried about their sexual orientation. And they go through the very difficult process of deciding they want to talk to a therapist, selecting the right therapist, and confiding in that therapist. And they deserve the opportunity to have that conversation free of government interference. And so I'm not a therapist. Listen, I don't want any kids tortured or injured in any way. They have the right to talk to somebody about what they're feeling, and the government shouldn't interfere with that. And that's what that vote was. And I think there were 20 or more Republican legislators who took that vote as well. And again, the editorial board of the Star-Ledger, not a conservative bastion, not a Christian right-wing organization. So this is very dangerous and shouldn't be. And frankly, in my opinion, it hurts the community that it's intended to help, in that if anybody, but especially young people who have questions and they want to talk to a therapist about, hey, what am I feeling and what does this mean for me? To interfere in that, I think, is just wrong. And for my opponents to say I support quack gay conversion therapy, that couldn't be more incorrect. Again, this issue has been vetted. It's been very publicly explained, and they insist on it anyway. It's malicious and disingenuous, and they deserve to be called out on it.
I don't know this last one. Advocates cutting teachers' salaries and benefits.
My inference on that is that I supported the pension and benefit reforms that we did on a bipartisan basis back in 2011, that reformed, the way in which public employees, including teachers, receive their health care. Remember, and I think you've commented on this in the past, but it bears repeating. I pledged when I ran for the Assembly the first time that I would not accept the health benefits that come with this job, because it's a part-time job, and I didn't know any constituents who had part-time jobs and got full-time health benefits for it. And I've kept true to that pledge. I had to leave my job when I got elected and go out on my own, create my own law firm. I pay for my own health insurance, and that's 10 people at home now. That
You're with another law firm?
I started my own.
No, you just said
I was with Drinker, Biddle, and Reith when I got elected. I had to leave there because I got elected. And so
they don't want an official, or just a time commitment?
There was actually, it's a long story about conflict of interest statutes and the like. It was arcane and frankly incorrect, but it forced my departure on very good terms. I actually spent a lot of time with them last night, my former colleagues at Drinker, Biddle. But the point is that I did that in part to show that my constituents, that people are in this not for what they get, but for what they can give. The health benefits that are available to members of the Assembly are worth upwards of $25,000 a year, which represents about 40% of the compensation available to us. And we tallied it up over the 12 years I've been in the legislature. We've saved the taxpayers over $300,000 just because I haven't taken those health benefits. And I know of no others, and you can do the research, I know of no other legislator who voluntarily refuses those benefits without something else, without a private sector job or another public job or legacy health benefits as a pensioner, for those reasons. And in part I did it because I knew reforms would have to be done to the healthcare system. And I knew that when the NJEA or the SEIU or the CWA came to me and said, don't cut our health benefits, I would say to them, I've given up my health benefits completely. All right? Your health benefit system is in crisis. We've made promises we can't afford, both to retirees and to current employees. We need to reform this for your sake and for the retirees' sake. Let's talk about reasonable reforms to your benefit system. I've given mine up. I don't get a pension from this, and I voluntarily give up my health care. And even the NJEA, for as much as they don't like my position, has conceded, he's walked the walk. I mean, the guy has said did what he said he would do, and I take it from there that they're upset about that. Remember, that what they're advocating for is to raise your property taxes, because what they want is to reduce what teachers and other public employees are paying for their health insurance, which has to be made up for by property taxpayers. You can't have it both ways. And so I think we made reasonable reforms back in 2011. I stand by them. That allows, that, gives teachers and other public employees skin in the game. They get to choose their level of health benefits, and based on the level of health benefits, that's how much they have to pay. There's a sliding scale based on their salaries. They want to turn
That's
back
what people in private sector do.
Yes, they're given an incentive, and they have to, if they want a better coverage, if they want platinum coverage, they have to pay a little more. Not 100% of the cost, but they pay a little more. They want to turn the clock back on that and make it purely a percentage of their salary, not a percentage of the cost of their health care. And the difference would be made up by taxpayers. As we said at the top, what's the number one issue? Property taxes. And this would turn the clock back on that. So that's my inference from their attack, and I stand by it. Stand by my position.
Wouldn't it, if someone reads that, wouldn't they think, well, he's saying he doesn't take health care benefits, so why should you? That's one thing I think someone might read into that if they see that in a statement.
Well, I hope, again, there's only,
Plain devil's advocate.
that's fine. I would hope that they would hear what I'm saying and the rationale for what I did. Public employees, if you're a full-time employee and you depend on your job for your health benefits, they deserve health benefits. I'm not saying public employees shouldn't have health benefits. I'm saying that the system we have is unaffordable. We are not able to meet our obligations to our retirees, and we need to reform the system. We started that in 2011. Frankly, if we had made the pension payments we promised to make, we'd be in so much better shape. And there's another time where I took on my party and my governor when Governor Christie didn't insist on making the pension payments. I said so on the floor of the Assembly. I was the only Republican to argue against the governor's budget on the floor of the Assembly, Governor Christie's budget on the floor, because it didn't make.
And that's why the system's in trouble, because they didn't make the payments they were supposed to all along.
And because the promises were too rich, a ways back. Now the promises were made when there was a little more cash in the kitty,